Let's go ahead and get started. The two cards that popped out are fabulous. All right, first popped out was the World, Major Arcana. Second was the Ace of Swords. So with these two combinations, I see that you're arriving at a pinnacle, okay? Or you have, or you will be, as far as giving you hope of something successful or bright in the future. And this also says that this is your overall message, okay? That success is going to come from keeping out everything that interferes. Because currently, minding your own business, being to yourself, is what's keeping you on the right path. You're victorious because the sword is upright. Here we also have victory. We have the completion, an achievement of something. And we talked about, not letting or keeping things out that interfere. Well, this is denying somebody access. You are shutting someone out in order to succeed. And this Ace of Swords means you are not waiting to hear from somebody. Okay? That's your overall, because these popped out. On the bottom of the clarification deck, the bottom of the primary deck, we have Knight of Wands in reverse. And for a second, I thought, am I doing Taurus? Because they always get this card. But I was like, nope, never mind, Leo. Okay. This is one really bad motherfucker. And you know him. And he's coming in from the past. And you've been burned by him before. Okay, so this is what that's talking about. When you're cutting somebody off so you can succeed, when you're not letting them come back into your life, this is who that is. This is the flighty, non-committal, one-night stand type of person, the person who can't be tied down. This is the person who would cheat on you, who, because they can't commit, they just leave destruction everywhere they go. They're a commitment phobe. Even if it's somebody older, that's possible, but they're just very immature. Or it is somebody who's a little on the young side. They're very flirtatious, they're a smooth talker, and they just take off without warning. Okay, that's who this person is. You know exactly who this is. Coming to your current situation, we have the Fool. Okay, as far as the spread goes, this is your only major arcana. Okay, the World popped out, I think, as a way to give you hope and an overall message. So when I combine the two major arcana that we have, okay, I see that all it takes to win here, is not to lose, okay? And losing would be letting somebody in, okay? So that's probably the overall title of your video. To win, just don't lose, okay? I'm not saying you're going to win the lottery or anything like that. I don't think it's something that positive. I think it's not hitting rock bottom. That's how you win, okay? And the way you don't hit rock bottom is to keep things out that you know are bad for you. Because with the Fool in reverse, you are not oblivious to what has happened, okay? You understand. You've been through it before. You've been with this person before. You know what he's all about. And with the World, this tells me that you have a very broad view, okay? You are not naive. You are not closed-minded. You've had a world of experience with this person. This also says with the World that everything that glitters ain't gold, honey, okay? But because this is such a positive card, it says you're going to be shielded from all the bad stuff. Now, this doesn't mean, okay, yeah, I'm going to go and date this Knight of Wands again and get myself into trouble because the World said I'm going to be fine. That's not what this is saying. This is saying in order to win, you have to shield yourself from the bad stuff, okay? So ignore that glitter. It's pyrite or something, okay? Fool's gold. Oh, we have the Fool. Okay, I love it. That was just so cute. I wasn't even planning that. Um, so this person is fool's gold, honey, and nothing predatory. You're not going to let anything predatory dock at your station. You're just going to go on, do your own thing, mind your own business as if this person doesn't exist. That's your current situation. You are not going to have a new beginning with this person. You know it. And it's funny that, the Fool is the first card, being that it's 0, but then it's also kind of the last card at the same time. And then the World is the last card as far as 21. Okay. So I just like that, how they're first and last. There's a lot of that in here. So you've been through this cycle before and you're putting an end to it. Or that's the advice that you're needing to hear. Also, I think, which is kind of funny, World means totally closed off. And the Fool in reverse means totally closed off. So, bam, nobody getting in, okay? I love it. You've put up this wall, and it's for your own protection. You're I am not falling off this cliff. In the past, I fell off the damn cliff because I was naive. Not anymore. I am dancing with joy in life, okay? Now, I just want to mention, Ace of Swords upright did pop out. And then in your strength section, you had Ace of Swords again. It was in reverse. But just the fact that you have so much Ace of Swords in here from 2 different decks that have been shuffled and cut and everything. Ace of Swords talks about triumph and overcoming. Okay. And with the World, we have an immovable object. Nothing can get inside your barrier, your wall that you've put up. Okay. So I was thinking of, voodoo or something, where you put salt around you for protection. Okay. So these laurels are like your salt ring. In that way. That's the only thing I can think of to explain. So that's, you have an immovable object you cannot be reckoned with. And then Ace of Swords is an unstoppable threat or an unstoppable force. You cannot be stopped. You cannot be moved. You are absolute. You are resolute, I should say. Okay. So let's come to your obstacle, your issue. King of Swords. Okay. To me, the King of Swords, just got chills for a second. Knight of Wands and King of Swords are the same thing. Okay, they're the same person. Probably gotten a little older since the last time you guys were in contact with each other. And with the Sword upright, I see you're going to be victorious against this person. And King of Swords is going to come in very flirty and charming, just like Knight of Wands. Maybe he comes in very well educated, but I almost never trust the King of Swords, okay? And here I'm telling you not to trust him either, because this guy's going to come back looking like the King of Swords, like he's got his business together, okay? He's even got a little butterfly above him, like he's transformed, and like he's the king of his thoughts and his beliefs, okay? But I got this sneaky suspicion is that he is, he's pretending, okay? And this is who he really is. This is who he used to be, and this is who he really is. And King of Swords reversed is a very big manipulator. You can't win with him. And this is the person you're supposed to stay away from. Like, literally, it says stay away from this lover. They're suffocating, they're cruel, they have evil intentions. They spread rumors, they try to ruin your reputation. And even worse is they're a criminal. They commit crimes against you. So I see an abuser here. And so putting these together, I see an abuser who likes to not commit and who cheats pretty much. This card's ruled by like Aquarius and Capricorn, but it reminds me a lot of a Libra because of the sword being upright and sitting on the throne. So I could see Aquarius, Capricorn, Libra, but it could be anybody because we also have Knight of Wands being the exact same person. And that is fire signs over there. Okay, and I always see an Aries for fire sign for that particular card. I'm not sure why. But he did come out upright. But I think the cards are showing me that this is your obstacle, your issue, your problem. And it's that he's coming in this way. Okay. For some of you, it could be a legal action, possibly like a divorce. Okay. But he's really this way. He's just pretending to be this way. It's a false face. See, I've been getting those chills again. Like I can feel it. And it's as if they're trying to get through your salt barrier. Okay. I once had a dream that there was a man in my childhood home whenever I was younger, and he was at my mom's bedroom door, and she would not let him in because she knew that he was actually a demon in disguise. Okay, this was just a dream. And then like he turned around and looked like in my direction towards my room, not at me because I wasn't actually there. I was just in an aerial view. And as soon as he turned around, his face, you could just see through the skin of the person, and it was a demon. And then he headed towards my room because he thought he could get through my walls. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking. This person is coming in that way. So let's talk about some steps. Okay, with Ten of Swords reversed, this tells me, yes, you were betrayed before, possibly through infidelity. You had new hope that you were getting out. And this is saying, before you were paralyzed, you were at rock bottom, okay? But that's over. You're dealing with the residual feelings, yes. And this person may come back and try to use you as a scapegoat, okay? But don't let it happen, okay? You put those barriers up and keep them up. And you may be tempted, okay? You may be tempted to not see the situation as it really is, because this is blocked reality. And the advice here, as far as steps to take, is to examine the situation very thoroughly and just like pinpoint and label things so that you will not end up being the full upright, which is reversed. Which is naive, okay? Because right now it's reversed and you're doing great. This also talks about recovering. Okay, you're recovering from what happened. And this says use the opportunity to recover wisely because it's fleeting. Okay, you're recovering. Don't let somebody come in and turn us back around where you're being betrayed again. Okay, keep it to where you're in recovery, where the swords are falling out and you're no longer paralyzed and you're moving on. So again, the advice: move on. Take in your recovery and make sure that you observe the situation for any incorrect conclusions you may have as far as seeing something with rose-colored glasses. With the World, it says you need to be afraid of more failure. Okay? That's with the World here. But because it's in reverse, this is telling me that you may not be afraid that there's more failure. You may think that everything's going to be okay. But this is telling me you should be afraid of more failure because it will happen again. Okay. Let's do a little clarification of some more steps you can take. Obviously the two, recover, stick to your guns, don't let this person back in, and just move on, heal. Get clarification of another step. 3 of Cups. Okay, so you need to go out, get on the dating scene, find somebody. This is going to put this behind you. And just like most advice that you hear, how to get over somebody, well, you go and find somebody else. Go to parties, possibly a wedding. Go to a wedding. Get out and meet somebody, because that's the solution to your problem. Actually, Three of Cups is a solution to a problem. It's also healing, okay? It's having a good outcome if you continue this. And just again, with the Three of Cups and having this betrayal in the past, it looks like if you were to do it again, you would be cheated on, okay? And you have been in the past. Maybe you join a group, like some kind of a charity, and you get out and you have a good time, you help people. But Three of Cups is also a conclusion, okay? So we have, to me, Ten of Swords is like doubly concluded. Like something is doubly over. It's done. Stick a fork in me. It's done. And that needs to be your mindset. And with the Three of Cups, if you do that, you will be perfect. You will find somebody, you'll get out and have a good time, you'll be fulfilled, you'll have solace, you're just recovering, okay? Now coming to your strengths, we had that Ace of Swords in reverse. So your strength is a defeat, okay? And the defeat is from the past. Your strength is that you've been through it. So you have no reason to be naive, especially if you examine the situation thoroughly and you get out and you meet people. No reason to go back through this again, okay? See, with the Ace of Swords upright, you're not waiting to hear from somebody, you don't care. And then here, one of the downfalls of your strength could be that you are waiting to hear from them. But be strong and resolute and don't let it get to you. I hope I didn't say Ace of Wands. I meant Ace of Swords, just in case. But this is a defeat. And it also tells me that if you try to force it, it will just end disastrously. And you know this. It was just stressful. And, there was infidelity. They had very strong opinions. And again, with the sword down, there's defeat. And with the King of Swords and Ace of Swords, this is somebody you can't win with, okay? Because remember, he's just pretending, okay, to be logical. He's really this person you can't win. You can't win with them. They're a criminal. And also, because this is infidelity, and we have this celebrating and getting out because of an ending, for those of you who that situation is divorce because of infidelity or something, I see that your strength is that you do get divorced, that it's over. That's your strength because you're getting out of it. Also, be a little careful because you do have Two of Cups later on, which is another challenge. With Ace of Swords being a strength and the Two of Cups over here is another challenge. Those two together can be a pregnancy, so be very careful of that. It could be a strength, but it could also be a challenge at the same time, because you can't let this person back into your life. In fact, with that Knight of Wands, if you were to let them know you're pregnant, they would be gone in a heartbeat. They're already going to be gone no matter what you say, but they would probably never come back. But let's come to your other challenges. Before I saw that combination with the Ace of Swords, I basically saw that you do meet somebody. And when I think of challenges, I think it can be challenging to let this person back, to let a person in after having gone through so much. And as far as a challenge with the cards, the challenge is to let this new person in, to have that union and get out there on the dating scene and find somebody. Because you could end up committed in a committed sense, or as an engagement or marriage. Maybe find a friendship that turns into romance. And I will say with the let's see, what major arcana was it? World or the Fool? Um, this is Two of Cups. Sorry, I just kind of went blank for a second. Okay. Okay, it's one of them. I know that. But with Two of Cups and one of the major arcanas, I'm thinking it's the World. This is telling me you may have, well, with the World, it's definitely like an online romance. See, that's, you may meet somebody that way. And I think it's funny that we have a Lion here, like we have a Leo. It's almost like you're going to orchestrate this. Okay, it's not a major arcana. I just realized that because they're right underneath each other and they're playing off of each other. All right, with Ten of Swords and Two of Cups, this talks about growing close to somebody through adversity. And you've gone through all this adversity. There's a friend that you've grown close to through these trials. You've talked to them, you've confided to them. They may be long distance, maybe not. Maybe you're just opening up your mind to being with this person. But you may have a friendship that turns to love. That's a challenge because just going through the whole love thing again. But I want to clarify, because anytime I pull two, I want to put two cards down to see what you're going after. All right, so what is this Two of Cups about? Four of Cups, okay, missed opportunity or not seeing an opportunity. Eight of Pentacles. Okay, Eight of Pentacles tells me engagement. I see two engagement cards. But also, it says it's positive movement forward, okay, sailing into the sunset. Normally, this is a guy who's working at a bench and he has 8 pentacles. But here, it's sailing into the sunset. Now, even though this picture is somebody alone, okay, it does look like they have a crown of some sort. I do. That's my engagement card right there, as well as working really hard at something. And I think you send this King of Swords packing, and then you sail off into the sunset with somebody else. Now, with Four of Cups, I see that somebody extended you an offer, and you're like, not taking it. And that's this King of Swords, Knight of Wands person. And then all this time, you've been confiding into this person, been a friend with them, and they had this love offer that you just weren't seeing. You were so focused on your Three of Cups, okay, which was them being unfaithful, and you're so also getting out there and dating. You're thinking about that, all these things that you're supposed to do, according to the cards, that you just kind of missed the opportunity. And, again, you're disappointed. It says you're discontent and bored. I see that. You get discontent and bored with dating around after a while, possibly. And then you realize you had a friend there all along. I like it. Okay, let's talk about your potential outcome. Queen of Swords. All right, this is an independent woman. She cuts through bullshit. She's had that sorrow that we've talked about. She's very perceptive. And she cuts through things that are false. And this is a woman who's divorced. So some of you could have gotten divorced. And also just seeing here with that in mind, she is victorious, okay? And she does have that bird on top, giving her a higher perspective. And it's like she's saying, come on here, come here. And what she's saying, come here, is about what your challenge is. She's challenging this to happen. And it looks like something that you've decided is in this marriage. When somebody, brings this offer back saying, hey, let's work on our relationship. You're trying to decide if you want to actually work on it. Or if you want to send them packing. That's also something you're deciding between. And for some of you, you end up being single or divorced, separated. It could be that you decide that, yes, you've had somebody there, but right now to win, you can't lose. And so you're trying to make sure that you don't go through anything again. And so it will be a little difficult to let somebody else in, and you may decide not to. And with the Fool in your reading, this says you will be successful by not conforming. So whatever commitments or traditional things are coming your way, you'll be successful by not doing them. Okay. If you go back to your situation, you may also be very traditional about something because the Fool's in reverse, or you may be very untraditional. You may be way eccentric in your relationships. But yeah, she's challenging either a romance or to send somebody packing or to keep them. And that decision's really up to you. Okay. But it does look like, Queen of Swords to me is always somebody who's single. Now, that doesn't mean you're not dating. Okay. This is somebody who's just not married. And with the Ace of Swords, which you have twice, this says you have a higher call to do what's good. Yeah, a higher call to do what's good. So get your duckies in an order, okay? Get them in order. She's very organized. And you may end up just having a secret love, okay? Because I do see secret love with her. Let's get some clarification about your potential outcome. All right. Two of Swords. Okay. So again, we have this decision. What are you deciding between? So we're going to pull two more. I do think it's funny it's between the Ace of Swords and this other one. Okay. Ace of Pentacles, which is new beginnings, new love, being very successful. Okay. And then we have Three of Swords. Okay. Which is that heartache. Like you've been through this before. So you're trying to decide if you want to have a new start and be successful, where it says prosperity begins, or, this heartache that you've had, that's a possible choice. And you're trying to decide if it's going to work out or if it's not going to work out. Okay, so yes or no question. Would it work out with whomever the querent wants it to? Power 8. So you got your card. You got strength. Okay. So when I say strength, I almost always see a yes. So if you really want it to work out with somebody, I see that you could work it out. Okay. But the person that you should be wanting it to work out with is if there's a friend around or somebody you meet while you're dating. Almost always, I never see King of Swords or Knight of Wands as working or having any kind of relationship with them. But you did get your card. That's really great. So, and it came with the Two of Swords and all of that. All right, so I think you're going to, I think it also telling you you're going to have to be strong. Taming those base desires and having that higher thinking. Because if you look, we have the Lion, which is the instinct, the base desires. And then we have almost like the Hermit. And he's very wise and making decisions based on that, on his inner wisdom and experience as well, because he is older. Now, a Three of Swords, this talks about you would have long-lasting heartache, very long-lasting pain. And that's with the King of Swords and Knight of Wands person. Now with the Ace of Swords right over here and over there, and strength, I see that you're going to have to use all your inner resources to, you're going to use all your resolve. You're going to resolve to overcome any setbacks that you have. So some of you may actually let this person back in. You weren't really seeing things for what they were, and it happens again. Hopefully not. I have told you in previous videos to beware of a false love, because the person who comes next is your true love, your soulmate, your twin flame. And I can see that over here, like your soulmate, your twin flame, riding off to the sunset together, being engaged, working really hard with each other, and then turning down another offer that wasn't good for you. And my advice, based on this whole entire reading, turn down the offer that wasn't good for you. And yes, with the strength, pick up the one that is good for you. And it's possibly a longtime friend.